Welcome to the second section of the Senior Seminar Capstone Series project. For the first section, we talked about all things video and audio and my 5 helpful and simple tips that can help provide you with the great quality that you want out of your audio and video and the equipment that you use here at Rowan University. Today, we're going to be talking about all things live event production. Obviously, behind me, I am here again at Bunce Green, and behind me is our own mini studio. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what goes into our live event production and what goes into a typical live event shoot that we do here at Rowan. Well, let's talk a little bit about what the system is behind me and how we are able to do a studio production outside of the classroom and outside of the studios. So the equipment that we are using today is a TriCaster system. Now, what do I mean by a TriCaster? What is a TriCaster? Let me explain to you what the TriCaster system does. The TriCaster system is its own simple computer. What that means is that we have the power with this equipment to import in graphics, import in audio, import in video, all into our system here and export it out into a final production project similar to what you would do in the studio. So let's go step by step of what live event production entails and how we perform outside of the studio. First thing that I always like to mention when it comes to live event production, everyone assumes that live event production means all we have to worry about is production. That is false. There are 3 steps to production that everyone should know. Obviously, they work in the studio. They work the same outside of the studio. So we have pre-production, production, and post-production. Now, pre-production for a type of environment like this is very intense. We're sitting here now at Bunce Green, and of course, we wish we were at hockey. Unfortunately, right now, due to COVID restrictions, hockey has been shut down. But we're still going to show you what it is typically like. So obviously, we would be out there, I'd have a crew. I'd have to get several people that would work the cameras, people that would work the audio board, people that would technical direct and work with our switcher here, and to produce the high quality work that we try to achieve. Now, obviously, that is just one step of the pre-production. We're making sure that graphics are made for whatever team we're playing. We're making sure that we have broadcasters. We're making sure that we are good to go at the rink. We are making sure that these steps are ensured so that when we go out into the field, we're ready to go with our production. Now, obviously, we move into the production world. Production for a typical hockey shoot all requires simple things. We have cameras, similar to the P2s that I have behind me. We obviously have the TriCaster system. We have the audio board, again, right behind me. Just these key components put together the great work that we do out at a live event. Let's take a look at some of the example work from Philadelphia Hockey Club coverage that we do to show you a live event production.
The last time we saw the Philadelphia Hockey Club, it was an explosive offensive performance. 22 goals scored within 2 games going up against Pals Junior Islanders. They look to replicate that here tonight as they go up against the York Skipjacks here live from Hollydale Ice Arena. Gary Italy alongside me, Alex Braddock for RTN Channel 5's coverage of the Philadelphia Hockey
Welcome.
Club.
Like Gary has said, this is what we do with the Philadelphia Hockey Club. Most importantly, what we do at Hollydale Ice Arena when it comes to hockey, whether or not it's Philadelphia Hockey Club, like I said, or whether we're covering Rowan hockey. The same setup that we have here today goes with all of our other setups that we do, whether or not it be a baseball shoot, whether or not we're doing a football shoot, whether or not we're doing a soccer shoot. All of these types of scenarios and all of these types of live production all basically have the same functions and capacity that we look for when we do a live event production. Obviously, with us being here in the ice arena and us covering Philadelphia Hockey Club right now, we're getting excited to cover Rowan hockey as soon as their season gets started, hopefully in February. But let's go over a couple of the key components of what a shoot looks like from a production standpoint here. The first thing we're going to look at here is our main camera. This camera is what we use all the time, whether or not, like I said, it's here at hockey, whether or not it's at another sport shoot. We always have one main camera. This camera right now that you see is our wide camera shot. It makes sure that we get all of the shots that we need, whether or not it's getting just the normal back and forth type of play that hockey has, whether or not we're getting shots on goal and we're keeping the camera on the goalie when a stoppage of play occurs. These types of scenarios are always what is happening when we're doing these types of games with both Rowan Hockey and Philadelphia Hockey Club. The next camera angle that we're going to get a chance to see is our close-up camera angle. Our close-up is similar to our wide angle shot, but in the title of the shot itself, we go for a little bit more of a close-up type of angle here. So what we see here with a couple of these examples is we see closer up on puck drops that we wanted to have a different camera angle than what we had with the wide shot. Like we said, we want to keep that wide shot wide for most of the time. So we're not going to have the chance to move from zooming in to zooming out when it comes to one of these types of productions. So the camera angles that we see here, again, we see goalie saves. We're seeing shots on net. We're seeing face-offs. These are the types of camera angles that we have and the types of shots that we try to achieve when we're shooting on goal. On a normal shoot, we will have 4 cameras. We'll have one in the middle, which will be our main camera, our close-up camera, and then we'll have our sideline cameras that we put at both the left and right end of the hockey rink. Another thing that I find really quite interesting about when we do these sideline angles is that we always give that sense of having that fan interaction where the audience at home may not get a chance right now, especially during COVID, to be at the games. So with these camera angles, we're right there on the ice level, giving them those types of camera angles that are really quite effective that we feel when we're out shooting for live production. Obviously, we've talked about the video side to this live event production, but we have more to it than just that. We also have graphics. Let's talk about these lower graphics that you see right here on our screen. These are in effect due to what we call live text. Live text allows us to import these graphics and also allows them to be editable while we're out shooting these games. What I mean by that is, let's just say Philadelphia Hockey Club scores. What can happen is we can overlay a graphic on top of the already graphic, and we can transition the score. So it looks really quite smooth, but behind the scenes, we're being able to change that graphic, while at home it looks like nothing's going on. It looks like a perfectly running smooth production, and that's what we always try to achieve when we're out shooting hockey. The third and final portion of our broadcast that we are very appreciative of is our broadcaster, Gary. Gary does an amazing job of putting together wonderful opening packages that we have a chance to produce with him. So let's take a look at an example of a intro hockey shoot promo / teaser that we have that Gary does for each of our hockey openers.
Due to having the head-to-head win over the Junior Islanders. That's where they last stand. Got their first win against the Junior Islanders last time these two teams played, but a little bit of a revenge game here for the Junior Islanders. Desperately also in need of a win. Both these teams at the bottom of the pack need to start getting things going as we face the middle stages of the year and the season. So it's going to be huge to see what happens here tonight. Both teams in similar situations. Bottom of the pack, like we mentioned, 1-7, same record. And goaltending problems have arisen for both sides. Going to need that to step up for either side to pull out with the win here tonight. As for the Junior Islanders, they're coming off of a long rest. Last time they were in action were on November the 5th as they faced the New Jersey Hitmen. A loss 3-2, however, a good showing up against one of the best in NCDC. On the opposite side for Philadelphia, they also recently went up against the Jersey Hitmen. Lost in that matchup 6-3. But that one was very recent. They have more experience on the ice in terms of when they played last, but the Islanders coming up with fresh legs. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here tonight.
Well, that is all of the portions of live event production here. We hope that you enjoyed Section 2 of the Capstone Senior Seminar Series project, and tune in to Part 3. Obviously, Part 1 we went over pre-production. This portion we went over production. Part 3 we will be going over editing and post-production and some key and helpful tips on what you can do to put forth really great quality work. Thanks, and stay tuned.